Introducing DSG's 5MT podcast, where we draw inspiration from the annual 3-minute thesis or 3MT competition for PhD candidates, challenging them to explain complex research in 3 minutes or less. In each 5-minute episode, we'll dive into a marketing topic, giving you actionable information in a fast-moving and fun format. Tune in for quick, valuable marketing insights on the 5MT podcast by your DSG marketing team. Hey, Paige, how you doing?
Hi. Oh, hi. Oh, hello.
Oh, yeah. So the podcast train rolls on.
Yes.
So I heard some interesting news coming out of the holidays. Some interesting gift news. I know you had a question for Jackie Amp.
I did. I
think we just need to get this out of the way and address this.
Oh my gosh! When you say holiday, I was like, Christmas. I was like, it's definitely almost March. But you're talking about Valentine's Day.
Oh shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
oh yeah,
that
because
holiday.
you easily forget that holiday.
Yeah, I don't. It's not on my radar.
Jackie, I'm gonna pull you in, sir, and put you a little bit on the spot. So, we hear, or you at least told us, that you have a secret admirer. So tell us the story. What's going on?
Yeah,
Super weird.
I'm trying to figure this out. The investigation rolls on. I have, on Valentine's Day, came home from work, and on the porch was a package addressed to me. And I'm like, wow, I haven't ordered anything. So I opened it in front of my entire family at dinner.
Oh, good.
And it's both my parents and my brother. Oh, and they're actually the ones that were like, you have to open this. I'm like, I have no idea what that is. I don't want to open it. So I opened it in front of them. It's a pink Stanley Cup. I want to say rip-off version
generic
of it.
Version.
Yeah, generic version. Probably off, one of those websites. Taylor Swift, it doesn't just say Taylor Swift. It's her songs. It's her albums. It's a picture of her. And it was addressed to me. Had no idea where it came from. I like Taylor Swift. I'm exposing myself to our 5MT listeners. I love Taylor Swift.
Oh my God.
I'm actually going to see Taylor Swift, but I would never walk around with a Stanley Cup Taylor Swift version of this. And no one has owned up to it. Nobody has fessed up. And I asked the girls that I talked Taylor Swift with. I asked the guys. I'm like, did you guys send me a gag gift for Valentine's Day? Like, real funny guys.
Oh man.
Nothing.
So,
Nothing.
Jack, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Did you go on like a rant or something about Taylor Swift in front of it?
No.
I've been thinking about this ever since. Like, was there ever like a moment you just had a weakness? And
you're
I
will say, we'll rewind the time here as this episode airs, heading back into the football season, the whole Taylor Swift being on TV too much with the guys, and a lot of people were frustrated.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, it's not her fault, and I did stand up for her at a guy's hangout. And that's where I was like, maybe this is where it came from, but nobody's owned up. So
that's amazing.
So I don't know if maybe one of them was like, I'm just going to send them one. Let's put a pin in that.
Okay, we'll put a pin in that.
Let's get to the question for today.
Okay, ready for it.
All right, question for you guys today is, what are the components of an effective digital ad?
Not just a digital ad, an effective digital ad. And I'm going to go first, Paige. I'm going to talk.
That sounds great.
I'm going to steal this one from you, but I think two really, really important components to a digital ad are concise text and clear design. Okay.
Agreed.
Let me dig in a little bit here because I know you would like that.
I do. I really like it.
A ton of times we see small businesses, even large businesses, trying to jam a ton of content into an ad. And I'm just going to focus on a display ad, which we've talked about in the past. It's just a digital ad that comes up. It's served, when you're looking at a website, it might come up in the right rail or on the top. Yeah. But it's limited real estate when it comes to what you can put in it. So what we often tell clients is, you need to look at that space and then fit the most important part of your messaging into that space. And that includes design as well. If you want to feature your face, if you're a proprietor, you want to put your face on, make it a very nice picture, a clear picture, one that puts you in a positive light. It's really important. Think of that first visual impression. But you have very limited real estate. Give them what you need them to know. Is it $10 off of 2 pizzas? They need to know that, right? They don't need to know that you have a million toppings and blah, 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 blah. If the point is there's a discount, go with the discount. Just say it up front. These are things that are often overlooked. And it's also complicated by some of the new features that Google and some of the other companies are coming out with, which are responsive, called responsive design or responsive text. You can really get into a lot of trouble. And we've seen clients do this with adding that text or adding too much or adding disjunctive messaging in there. So take the time, be clear, be concise, design a clean ad. That's what I want to say.
I love it. I really like it a lot. It's all about having intent. And I think what I'm going to say, actually, it definitely complements what your take was or is. So when I think about being an effective marketer, I think about Seth Godin. So for those of you who don't know who Seth Godin is, he was primarily like a big business executive turned into kind of marketing guru. Like he
writer, presenter,
he's just this amazing, like Renaissance man.
Yeah,
like could you
time.
say Renaissance man
in the marketing and advertising space?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So check him out, please. If you haven't, he
You
has
won't
a
have
lot
to
of
look so hard.
No. He offers a lot of valuable insight on the market, and he has very strong opinions on what a marketer should do. So when I saw this question, I automatically thought about like his value that he believes marketers bring to the world. A quote from him is that marketers should not make noise. They should make the world better. And so I'm not even just talking about us as an agency, Mike. I'm talking even about those like you're a small business and you want to have a marketing campaign, an advertising channel. You should consider your brand, but you should also consider like who you're trying to reach and meeting those customers' needs at the right time.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So he believes that marketing should deliver anticipated, personal, relevant messaging that people want right now. So how, as a small business owner, do you do that? So I think there's 3 things that you need to consider. The aesthetic, which I think speaks to what you were saying.
Yep.
So the look and feel and whether or not it reflects your brand. The audience, and the audience is encompassing of who your quote unquote targets are. Those are customers that could be potentially looking for your business. And then timing. So if I wanted to give an example, if I'm a plumbing business, I'm not going to be running ads on like Vogue.com, right? Like you want to find channels, and I would say Yelp is a really great channel. They have a really big home services category that can capture those individuals that would be looking for plumbing services.
Or Angie's List or some of these other direct.
Exactly. So it's being, I like to think of it as like a considerate marketer.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think if you think about those 3 things, so it's aesthetic. So what is the, like if it's ad copy or if it's a banner ad, like what does it look like? Is it clear and concise? Does it kind of flow within the story in which you're placing that advertising? Your audience, who are you looking to connect to? What need are you looking to fulfill for that individual? And then timing. So make sure that it's sort of appropriate to when your audience wants to see it and where.
Good deal. I like that a lot. I think that was definitely well said. It's so easy to get out ahead of this stuff and just put some kind of high level thought into it. And then it also helps you kind of understand what your expectations for the return are.
Yeah.
I think that's a really important thing.
And now the post game with Jackie M.
So, Jack, how do we do?
So, Paige, unfortunately, you were flagged for 2.
Oh my God. 2. Of course,
Now-
we make the bet, and now I'm flagged for 2.
One of these is jargon, but I decided to throw a flag for another reason this episode.
Oh.
It's something we call a pageism, or our producers, our editors call a pageism. You've been saying this in this episode is act with intent. So I'm going to have you kind of explain what do you mean by that? And then the other one that Paige said was jargon, and that was ad copy. So 2 flags on Paige today. Mike, great work.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you,
I don't
Jack.
even get a great work. I prepared.
It means everything.
But Paige, if you can explain to our listeners, because you say it in a lot of our episodes,
Yes.
what do you mean when you say act with intent?
So, act with intent is a throwback to my theater days. I was a theater major, and I was part of theater company, and I did a couple of plays, and a lot of times when you talk about developing a character, it's you develop a character, or like you interact with the other scene partner with intent. Like you have a goal in mind, and it's more like interpersonal, right? Like I'm trying to get you to see my side. So that's the intent of the character. So I think this rings true in marketing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
totally
a little
agree.
bit of a misdirection, but when you approach your marketing strategy, you have to have intent with it. So what I mean by that in terms of marketing is that you don't want to just say, I have $200 and I'm going to place it on Google because it's an intuitive platform and I think I know how to use it. And you put up a radius and that's it. That could work. But what I'm telling you is if you have the thoughts on, this is my brand, this is my audience, this is the timing in which I want to launch a campaign, and maybe I want to consider another channel other than Google. Maybe it's Yelp, maybe it's a print ad, maybe it's a display campaign. You have to think about where your audience is. So marketing is not just about putting money into Google. It actually has a lot of strategy and has a lot of thought behind it. And that's how you can put your best brand forward.
Best brand foot.
Best brand foot forward. Exciting though.
Okay, copy is a newspaper term. And ad copy is words on the page, right? It's words. It's what your messaging is. It's your words on the page. I'm going to try to make this as non-jargony as possible. Are there words in your ad? That's your ad copy.
Thank you so much for tuning in to DSG's 5MT podcast. I'd love to thank my co-host, Mike Gatos.
Truly my pleasure. And I would like to give a big thank you to our producer, Jack Marinello.
If you enjoyed this podcast, like and subscribe to 5MT. Have a question? Leave a comment. Tune in next time.
Happy marketing.